23. Hey friends, how's everyone doing tonight? I just wanted to get on here and share a couple new fun little art things I got just recently. One of the things I got on Friday, and then something else I just got today, which is really fun for me because I'm a nerd, is a new way to store all of my colored pencils. Okay, so this isn't it. These are the type of colored pencils that I use. I haven't been using them a ton lately, but this is what I like when I do use colored pencils, are these Prismacolor. And I just have these boxes so that I can show you what I had, how they were being packed around when I did take them places, and give you a comparison from this to what I have now. So this box here, this is actually the box I got in high school. It was a long time ago. So these are really old. This is a box of 48. There's none in there now, but I'll show you why in a minute. And this is before, these are also very old. Before I kind of abandoned art, but after I got out of high school, I saved some money and splurged on this box of 120 colored pencils. I want to say it was about $120 at the time. Not sure what it is now, but yeah, that was a big splurge for me. And then, as you'll see here in a minute, a lot of them are not even sharpened. But so this, I had this big, this big box to haul around if I wanted to just take all of my pencils with me, which when I would take them with me, I usually just took the whole box. Or this one, which of course there are a lot of duplicates between this set and this set. I think the entire Prismacolor range now is, I want to say I saw a set that was 160 and it is labeled as the complete set, but I'm not positive. So this is my kind of bulky colored pencil sets. And this is my recent splurge to organize them. So I have this cool little binder, I guess. Check it out. It's got little monkeys on it. All sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, I like it. You can find, I looked through Amazon for, I don't know, if you add the time all together, I probably spent a couple of hours looking through stuff, maybe. I was just kind of getting picky, so it took me a little while. But let me see if I can switch this around and show you. What's that going to do? No, that's not it. That's not it either. That's not. Why is that not working? It says Shift 8. Okay, well, back to this. All right. So I spent way too long trying to organize these, and they're not even to the point that I wish they were, which is like very, I don't know, rainbow, I guess. But okay, so here is But first, let's see if I can, okay, that'll work. I've got a little spot for an eraser, and this eraser here is kind of cool. It's almost like, it's got some grit to it. So these colored pencils are pretty highly pigmented. So when you apply it to your paper, a lot of times it's pretty hard to erase. And this little eraser here, because it's got a little bit of grit, will actually, I don't want to say remove the paper, but a little bit. Like, that's one way it will help to erase your marks. So it's good for the colored pencils. Okay, so yeah, I've got my little eraser holder. I've got my little dusting tool thingy. I really like this for graphite. I don't know if I'll keep it in here. I just kind of wanted to fill up the little pockets. But I like to use one of these brushes so that you can, brush all the, excuse me, all the powders and stuff off of your page without smearing it. Also the oils in your fingers. The more you touch the paper, the more you're going to have that oil transfer to your paper. And this one, when I finally decided on this one, is because there was an elastic, a little pocket for each individual pencil. There were a couple that I almost bought, and the closer I looked at them, I found that the elastics were to the point where you'd fit 3 pencils in each one. Oh, I did something to my neck. And I didn't buy any of those because I wanted to have a elastic for every single pencil. Maybe that's crazy, but what if you have an odd amount of pencils, and then the whole point of the elastic is to keep them from kind of flying around in your storage unit, right? That's kind of what I was going for. Also, this took all of my colored pencils and just made everything really compact. Look at this. See the size difference? I mean, it's way thicker, but another drawback of the original product box is that you have to extend that out, pull that all the way, and then you can use it like, that's probably really hard to tell with my setup here, but it does set up so that your pencils aren't all laying flat. And then I took everything out of the inside, but it has little, when you buy these, it has different layers, so it's all kind of staggered, so that you can see, you have one row of pencils and then another layer behind that, but they stick up a little further so that you can see, and then another row, so like a stair step kind of thing. So the box, and I don't even know if the boxes are made like this anymore. These are probably considered retro, vintage. I don't even know, but they're pretty old. But I always felt like it just kind of took up a little bit more space than I liked. Just to be able to, you have to pull that all the way out, and then I don't know, just a picky thing maybe. So back to my new colored pencil binder. Hello to anybody who's on here. Me nerd out on my supplies. So cool thing about this is that you just turn the page and there's more pencils, and you turn the page and there's more pencils. I tried to organize them by color a little bit, but I feel like it could be better. And that one I don't think is supposed to go there. So I believe this binder, wallet, whatever you want to call it, yeah, that rhymed, holds 202 pencils. I think I have this one here. That'll go there. So if I wanted to, I could actually take my, this is what I store my graphite pencils in, which these are also pretty cool. I have some pins in there as well. But I could take all of this stuff and transfer it over to that colored pencil binder if I chose to. Right now, I'm good with how it is, I think. I don't know that I could fit my these pins in there. Yeah, it fits. It'll hold that. I feel like that's gonna wear the elastic out sooner, but, and you might not be able to put one right next to another just because of the how much more space it's taking. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, there we have it. It fits these guys as well. But for now, I will leave them here because I have not used those with colored pencils yet. And actually these little Micron pins, I've used those mostly with watercolor. They're super fine point and different different sizes. So let's see, like this one here. Pretty fine tip. And they're permanent. So what I like them for is, see, that's a little teeny tiny. You can see that. I like to use them for outlining when I'm doing a watercolor pet portrait specifically. I like to do all the outlining with that. I don't do like hyper realistic pet portraits. So I think I have some on my website. I don't have any with me to show what I'm talking about, but I do the pencil drawing and then I draw over the top of the pencil with these, what the heck are they called? Fine liners? And then I watercolor. So since these are permanent, you know, I can watercolor right over the top of it and don't have any problems with it smearing or anything. This little roll-up doodad also has a pocket, little zipper pocket, which is pretty cool. So that is my fun new storage thing for my colored pencils. Told you I'm a nerd. And the other thing I wanted to show you real quick is, that's nothing fancy, but I got these really fun watercolor markers. The light is hitting that. So I've just been playing around with these a little bit. And it's been fun so far. So you can use them just like markers, or you can add water to it and just brush right over the top. And I was kind of trying to do some little flowers. That's hard to see. But I mean, I am not skilled in watercolor, so it's kind of funny that I even thought I needed to buy watercolor markers. I don't really even know how to use watercolor pencils yet, but I might be slightly addicted to art supplies. Shh, don't tell anybody. And some of these I think are metallic. Nope, that's a pretty olive green. Is that metallic? This one looks like it's supposed to be. One thing I don't like is that it doesn't have a color, like a name. It has a number. I assume that's the color identification right there. I just got these from Amazon, and it tells me I can get a color swatch template, to print and color. Oh, and I can get a printable coloring book. So this brand, Primrosia, from the stuff I was seeing on Facebook, they have a few different sets. They've got one watercolor marker set, which is the one that I have. And then they have a few different acrylic paint marker sets. And they also have bullet journals. If you guys know what those are, they're not bullet journals. I think they're just called dot journals. They have the blank pages, but with really faint little dots in them. Actually, I have a page right here that has, if it will show it at all, I don't know if it will. Yeah, just barely. There's little dots on these pages. And that's so that, you can make your own straight lines easily. I've been using this for little paint party designs, and I just, sketch out the little rectangle and then make my thumbnail from that. But this brand has those dot journals that are made with watercolor paper, which I thought was kind of cool. And if I actually was motivated enough to design my own journal, I would totally do that. But I tried a dot journal before, and I didn't stick with it. Oh, that's sort of metallic. So there's a couple metallic markers in here. I think, well, maybe just the one. I thought there was like a gold or a bronze. So yeah, these have been fun to just kind of play around with, and I'll just have to work more on them. So there goes my dogs. And a little closer. Just add some water to it. Sorry about my dog. Dogs, they're both barking now. So I feel like the more I play around with this, the more I'll like it. But for now, I've just obviously just been making a little bit of a mess with it. Just little puddles of colored water. So it's kind of fun. And then you could even take some from one spot and add it to another. Did you guys ever use those little paint books when you were a kid that had it was like a coloring book, but it had the spots of color at the top or the bottom, and you just take a little brush and get the brush wet and get those color spots wet, and then you take that and you paint the picture. That's what this makes me think of, but I don't think you would want to completely use it like that. There are some areas I've noticed that stayed darker. I think you can probably see that on the screen there. So like I applied the color right in here, and then when I got it wet, I spread it, but you can still see where I initially applied that color. So it doesn't always spread super easy. So I think that was pretty much it for these. I was also gonna start sketching just a little bit of a new paint party design I was thinking of. I'm gonna get rid of my brush here. And oh, this marker set comes with 2 extra nibs. Oh yeah, that's another thing about these markers, is that they have the brush tip, and then a fine point nib. So like really fine point. You can see there. So it comes with 2 replacements for those little, I think that's called a nib. Maybe they're both called nibs. But it comes with 3 of the brush tips and 2 of those little fine points, which I thought was kind of cool. So just something fun to mess around with. Oh yeah, I had a water bottle, a spray bottle. I wanted to see what that would do if I just gave it a little spray without spraying my laptop. Nothing dramatic, but it's fun to play around. I had this idea for a new paint party design. I wanted to kind of start sketching it out. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think. You see, I've got a few people here. Hi guys. How is everybody? Hope you're doing well. All right, so I'm going to try to use my dots here. Even though I have the dots on this paper, I do still like to use a ruler, but I don't have one right near me, so I'm not gonna. Did I make a song out of it? Not gonna do it. Oh, you know what? I have my thing on the wrong thing. Oh, okay. All right, so if you can, let me know you're here. So I know who to say hello to. So one thing I know I need to get better about in my paint party business is planning ahead more. So I'm trying to get in the mindset of 4th of July already. So I just had this idea for a new design. Let's see, just not sure how close up I want to go. It is yet another red truck painting. So hopefully the red trucks have not, you know, run their course entirely. You know, they've been around for a while, but a lot of it has been associated with Christmas stuff. So I thought, why not have 4th of July? The problem might be in my execution of it, though. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing? That feels a little too tall. I'm going to see if I can bust out a little sketch here in just 10 minutes or so. Yeah, that's better. And that way I can go in and help with the kids' bedtime. Ellen is watching too. Hi, Ellen. How are you doing? You watching basketball too? Oh, that's not what I do. So I got the back of a little truck here. It's looking a little funny, maybe. Maybe. I wanted to do a little red, white, and blue. I'm not sure the name of these things. It's not a banner. It's like the half circle. I think it would be called a swag. Not that duck. No. So the duck was in my neighbor's yard across the street, and it wouldn't let me get too close to it, but it didn't keep me really far away, if that makes sense. Maybe like, I would say maybe 8 to 10 feet. And then once I was within that range, it would start to waddle away, but it wasn't flying away. So I was kind of concerned that it was injured or that its wings had been clipped, you know, assuming it was a pet duck. I just didn't want it to get too far from home and just kind of get completely lost. So I was out, and the neighbor whose yard it was in, she's afraid of birds. So she wasn't really approaching it. And I came in the house and I got some frozen peas, thinking, you know, we take frozen peas to Alton Baker Park sometimes, and the ducks there really like them. So I thought, well, maybe I can, you know, entice this duck to let me get closer if I'm giving it something. So I tossed a few little peas out to it, and it picked one up and just spit it right out. It didn't care, didn't like it. So that was that for my attempt with food. And then the kids come out of the house. Connor was being pretty careful. Noah, not so much. he got pretty excited about, you know, the idea of petting a duck. So he just kind of, I don't want to say rushed it, but he wasn't moving slowly. And we eventually worked together to scare the duck away, and it flew, I don't know, maybe 8 feet off the ground. It took off and flew further into the cul-de-sac. And I thought that it had gone over the neighbor's fence and figured it would just stay there. And then we were getting ready to leave, had a couple errands to run. So I was getting the kids in the car, and I was going to take the dogs with us. And the dogs rushed out the door before I could grab them. They're hound dogs. They catch a whiff of anything and they take off. And somehow, so I had spotted the duck when I was trying to get ready to leave, and the dogs had not been out yet. And I spotted the duck across the way in the cul-de-sac, and it was sitting in front of another neighbor's garage door. I mean, you could barely see it. I had to stare for a while and watch for movement to see that it was even the duck. So the dogs, of course, slip out the door and somehow just beeline straight to that neighbor's yard. Like, they knew that duck was there. And so, of course, the duck gets freaked out and goes flying across the cul-de-sac the other direction, and I haven't seen it since. But I did see on my Facebook post that somebody had it, and they were getting ready to take it down to the mill pond. So hopefully it finds its way home. There were two. There were two together. That was a really long story, sorry. But yeah, that's all I know about the duck for right now. Hopefully it made it back home. I think that it maybe lived at one of the houses between a couple of the churches. I've heard ducks over there before, but the mill pond is not far from that. So hopefully the little thing gets home. Okay, so I've got my little truck sketch. And I'm not totally sure else to add. Maybe some hills in the distance, some trees. Bushes, maybe. What do you think of that? And some fireworks. Which I don't totally know how to draw, but working on it. I think that duck, or the two ducks, excuse me, were on Facebook a couple of times, a couple different people's posts yesterday. Might have to do a little better research on maybe get some firework pictures so I can see what I can do better here. My neighbor was funny. She was asking if we still had a chicken coop and thinking that I could capture that duck and put it in my chicken coop until, you know, the owner can take care of it, assuming the owner was found. And as she's suggesting this, my 2 hound dogs are over at the gate where they can see this duck, and they are just completely losing it. Like that duck is not going to survive if I put it in the chicken area. I keep bumping the camera, sorry. And we have no chickens at the moment. The puppy has not been around chickens. Don't know what's going to happen when we get more. But that being said, the way she was responding to seeing that duck, the fence around the chicken area would not hold her. I feel pretty sure. She would probably take that damn fence down. Dog's a moron. Shouldn't say that. I love that dog, but seriously. She just has an uncontrollable sniffer. I don't like that. That looks too structured. I feel like the cab is too tall. Not that this is the finished product, you know, but the whole point of doing this is to get a really good idea of how you want it to look when it's finished. You know what might be even better than a red truck? It's like a little Volkswagen. That'd be fun. I actually always wanted a Volkswagen. Oh no. That just did something weird. That doesn't look right. Felt like the cab should be a little shorter. No, probably not. I always wanted a Volkswagen bus so that I could paint on it. Do the crazy, you know, whatever I wanted to do. Now I don't know so much. I feel like that's a lot of pressure. But I still think it'd be really cool to have one of those and just have it completely modified to be like a tiny home. Sort of not a tiny home, but like a motorhome, I guess. Okay, just a sketch, but how's that look? It still looks weird. It looks like still too short somehow. Or is this? Too wide? Like something's funny there. What do you guys think? Red truck or Volkswagen? See, are the tail lights on this part of the truck? Red truck watching fireworks. I'm sure there are people in the truck. Maybe not. Maybe it's kind of like a Cars world. The vehicles drive themselves. Okay, so I know I was kind of all over the place being on here tonight. I apologize for that. I just got really excited over my art supplies. My somewhat of an organizer. I have to admit, I don't take my colored pencils a whole lot of places lately, but when I decide to, it'll be so much easier. All right, I'm thinking my kids are probably getting ready for bed. Hello? Are you going to bed? Yeah. Okay, I'll be in a couple of minutes. Hold off for you? Yeah. Okay. Little things here, and then maybe you guys can, in the comments, tell me what you think. Probably be a pretty dark truck by the time I paint it to be able to convey, you know, that nighttime feel. I don't know where the tail lights are supposed to be. More research is needed. Right now I've got like 2 sets going on. So I'm thinking this would be make it a little bit more of like a dusk sky rather than completely nighttime. And it's going to be darker at the top, lighter towards the bottom. Okay, I know it's not a painting. I know it's not finished, but considering it's a sketch and will be painted. What do you guys think of that? So this would be one of those, I'm sure you guys have seen those things. I really think it would be called a swag, but I'm not 100%. Those half circle red, white, and blue things that hang. And then some fireworks in the sky. I think it could work. But yeah, let me know what you think. And I would love to hear. All right, you guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will be back. I'll try to be back again this week. Maybe Thursday. I have 2 parties to get ready for. One on Friday, one on Saturday. So I will just see what I can make happen between now and then. All right, you guys, I appreciate you being here. I will see you later. Have a good night and make some time to create. Don't forget. See you later.